Is it true Big Meech did a third-party cooperation deal to receive a reduced sentence in his case by setting up a known kingpin from St. Louis named Cuffy? Well, that's the word on the street, so let's get into that. First off, for all y'all who don't know who Cuffy is, he is a known kingpin from St. Louis who did business with Big Meech for over 20 years since 1990. And according to him, he is the first person to ever put $1 million in cash in Big Meech's pockets. And as of today, he claims he was set up by Big Meech, which eventually led to him receiving a 27-year prison sentence. And he claims it all started when Big Meech was in Detroit's county jail when he got indicted in 2005. And while Big Meech was in Detroit's county jail fighting his case, he met a Spanish connect named Fidel Suarez, who had major connections to Mexican cartels out of Los Angeles, California. And Cuffy also claims Fidel was the first target who Big Meech was trying to line up so he can receive a reduced sentence. And Cuffy also claims that the person who Big Meech was using to line up Fidel
lies on the television. The Matrix despise when you got a vision. Poison the food trying to block our vision. Boule telling lies to the children. If you hear the music, that's a flawed vision. Tap in with your frequency, how you feel. How many deceiving lies to our Why is it I can walk in the world and see?
So it was news a few days ago that Big Meech was released from prison, right, in a halfway house. And ever since he been released, the internet been going crazy, like, because recently 50 Cent dropped a show called BMF, Black Mafia Family, which is basically a group of kids from Detroit. They was selling dope, right? And they kept scaling and scaling until they made a not a global enterprise, but like a United States of America enterprise, like traffic network. And they was trafficking throughout the whole America, right? And it could be other places too. And they had a plug that was from like Colombia or something like that. Man, my plug from Colombia. In America, you selling government drug. He thought he was getting off them the government drugs. Goofy. What you think you just finna move bricks? You ain't Big Meech. That's why I said I'm outside trying to move bricks. You ain't Big Meech. I bet you from day one there was a FBI agent right by him. Oh, he was too flashy. That's why we went to jail. Even on the show, they was like, Big Terry's like, yeah, my brother was flashy because I feel like subconsciously he had to self-sabotage himself because he knew like this is impossible. How am I going to get rich selling all this, doing all this when it's from the government? You think Big Meech didn't know the government was into it? And even if they don't show that on BMF, right? What happened to Freeway Ricky Ross? He figured out he was selling to CIA, right? What happened to Snowfall, Franklin Saint? He was working with the Fed the whole time. You can't sell the government work and it's not even about flashing and flaunting. They was gonna come pick him up regardless. Say he invested all that back into the land, or say he just kept it all to himself and be quiet and went to a house in the hills. They probably would have let him go, right? But if he would have flashed all that cheese like Terry did, Meech did, or if he would have stayed quiet and invested back into the neighborhood, they still would have got you. Now we finna get into the rest of the video of the man from St. Louis, somebody that was with him, who's saying that Meech told. All right, so let's get into it.
I'm Tamara Gatling. I'm making this recording in regards to my dad. He's Dion Gatling. Most people know him as Cuffy. But I wanted to make this recording so I can shed light on some facts. My dad was set up by one of his best friends, which is Demetrius Flannery, also known as Big Meech. My dad and Meech have been friends for 30 years plus. I've known Meech my whole life. I look at him like an uncle. Like, this situation has been completely devastating on so many different levels, and there's still so many questions that aren't answered. At this point, I can only shed light on what I know for sure to be facts, and hopefully one day I will have the complete truth. But in 2011, around that time, Meech reached out to my dad in regards to creating a BMF movie. So Meech hooked my dad up with a woman named Tammy Cohen's. At the time, Tammy was Meech's power of attorney. Also, she owned the life rights. So my dad was working with Meech, Tammy, T, basically trying to work on a movie deal. So Finally arrested my dad and we received the discovery. He knew exactly who CS1 was, and he told me and my mom that it was Tammy Cohen's. At that time, we really did not want to believe. We wanted to give Meech the benefit of the doubt. It was really, really hard to believe that Meech would set my dad up. It was almost unbelievable. So we were able to like reach out, get a message to Meech, and basically let him know that Tammy was an informant. We later received a message from him saying that it had to be a misunderstanding. Just call her, she'll straighten this out. So on, so on. And at this time, my dad was like, I'm not dumb. I'm not about to call an informant.
Sosa and myself, we all before all of that. You feel me?
Right.
Sosa is a day one nigga. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And see, Meech, I'm the first nigga put $1 million in his pocket. He never seen that till he came to the loot. You feel me?
I heard
He
about
never
you,
seen
dog.
that.
I heard you was just an
Oh,
outstanding
yeah,
dude,
yeah.
man. Take care of your business, and your reputation in a good way preceded itself. So I understand now, based on from what we've dealt with and seen with this whole thing with Tammy, man. Speak on that for me if you can, because it's perplexing.
Well, what they did, what Meech and Tammy did is called it because you're not in the system. Thank God you're not. I hate to see brothers in this system. But brothers who are familiar with this system, this is a nasty, nasty system. What Meech and Tammy did was called a third-party cooperation. What happened was...
This call is from a federal prison.
Originally, I was put with Tammy. I paid for the script. I paid $250,000. That's my script. That's why 50 when he came in, because we put a assistant deceased order in through my attorney. That's why they couldn't do a motion picture. That's why you didn't see the BMF story on the big screen. So 50 ran it through that star shit that he run that other corny shit that he do. So what happened was, homie, was I wasn't even the original target. They wanted to get a little Mexican. He's actually a cartel member out of L.A. named Suarez. You'll see his name in the paperwork, Fidel Suarez. He was their initial target. You feel me?
Right.
He was their initial target. But with me calling in while they were trying to set up Fidel Suarez, she clicked over and told the agents who was listening to her and Suarez, hold on, this is Cuff. And when they heard the name Cuff, they went fucking crazy. And that's when her and Meech turned the scheme toward me. You feel me? So what it did was, this is what it was supposed to do. It was supposed to give Meech a time cut for her cooperation and set me up. But also, it kills two birds with one stone. It puts me in jail, and now they don't have to split any of the revenue with me. My buddy and my partner along with me his name is Louis Betrayal. That's MC Hammer's big brother.
That's who Tammy was coming out here to see.
That was me.
And I'm gonna tell you the year. That was 2015. No, that was like 14.
Way earlier than that. It started way earlier than that. Way earlier than that. Around 2010, homie. Way earlier than that.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we gotta go way back.
We put $50 million on the table through Lionsgate's Films, through Louis Betrayal's Connect. Because Louis is the nigga, he a bait nigga out there, but he fucks around. He really fucks around on the music tip, but he also fucks around in the movie industry up there. Now, what we did not know is why Tammy would turn down that deal with me and Louis Betrayal getting 20% of that budget. You understand what I'm saying? For a finder's fee. So what ended up happening was we didn't know that they had other plans and that she was sleeping with the feds and that they would put me off in prison and run away with my script and don't have to give me anything. So it was supposed to give Meech a time cut and knock me out of my percentage, me and Louis Betrayal out of our percentage for the finder's fee with Lionsgate's film. Well, Lionsgate, when Louis went, so they backdoored us. Lionsgate shot it down when Louis Betrayal wasn't no longer a part of it. You feel me?
Right.
So Tammy's whole thing fell apart. Meech couldn't get a time cut because they found out Tammy has no credibility. Because when you can't have a relationship with a federal agent, now you have no credibility. So they thing blew up. They thing fell all the way apart and blew up. That's why Meech didn't get a time cut. But Tammy testified in open court that she signed up to be a DA informant to give Demetrius Flannery a time cut.
This call is from a federal prison.
Special Agent Keith Cromer testified that Demetrius Flannery knew about this whole thing, but he just wanted to keep his name out of the documents. The special agent told Flannery that he could not do that. He could only do that if Cuff don't go to trial. And with Cuff's record, he can't afford to go to trial. You understand what I'm saying?
Correct.
But in the midst of all of this, she ends up flipping on the special agent Keith Cromer, and their whole deal went in the trash. So that's why we're at the point to where we're at now.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long does your relationship go back with Meech, Cuff? How long have you known him? What you guys go
1990,
back?
1990, homie. 1990. My beautiful daughter that you talk with, my son, and my other daughter, they look at this nigga, call this nigga uncle, homie.
Now, from my understanding, you guys reached out to him when the paperwork came down. She said that you knew who the CI was, and you told her and her mom, and you guys sent a message to Meech. What was his response when this stuff came down and you were like, yo, bruh, what's going on? What did you get from Meech?
When I got locked up, homie, and when I seen where this whole conspiracy was coming from, I laughed at it and I didn't believe in it. And I knew that Meech could come forward and kill the whole conspiracy. Just saying that the conspiracy is based on Meech communicating from Tammy, sending me a truckload of drugs. It's all made up. From jail, homie. He could have killed this whole deal. They never had any drugs. You understand what I'm saying? But that's how conspiracy works in this system, in this nasty system. But when Meech shot down the offer, when we sent my attorneys out, he was at FCI Lompoc in California. And he responded back to my attorneys that he didn't want to have nothing to do with nothing, and he stopped communicating with them. So then that told my attorneys right there that Demetrius Flannery is a part of this whole deal. And I couldn't believe it. You feel me? So that's what his response was, that he don't know nothing about all this. Well, Demetrius Flannery has been locked up since 2005, and how are you my unindicted? He's listed in my paperwork, homie, as my unindicted co-conspirator serving 30 years at FCI Lompoc in California. How are you in my paperwork, man? And how are you this famous drug dealer who's in magazines and books and movies, and you are in bed with a government informant that testified in court that she cooperated and set your nigga up, a 30-year partner, to give you a time cut? How are you this celebrity drug lord, but you in bed with a government informant? And how you not know about this? And you in my documents is my co-defendant, my unindicted co-defendant.
This is why I say, like, it's generational effery, right? Fuckery. It's generational fuckery, right? Because this the thing. Big Meech went down in the early 2000s. It's 2024. Why did you have to bring that show back? What history do we need to learn about a man who was selling government rugs? Government rugs. There's nothing to learn from that. There's nothing to learn from that, my boy. Like, yo, man, like, our people is really crazy. And, like, when I speak about this, like, I just made a TikTok about it, and some brothers was agreeing with me. But it's people that, like, when I talk about the 50 Cent show, they like, oh, well, it's a good show, and, well, nobody wants to hear about, you know, nobody here want to hear spiritual, lyrical, miracle, fearful. Nobody want to hear that. But it's like, at the end of the day, man, like, when we gonna develop our prefrontal cortex, man? When we gonna get that brain power? It's important to have a functioning brain. This is like a big thing that we don't get taught about in school, with our parents. Like, when I have my kid, I'm gonna be telling him all the time, you need to develop your full brain for the rest of your life. Keep developing your mind. All that, your brain stops developing at 20 until you turn 27. That's when you're really developed. And because it give you an excuse to be dumb until you turn 27. Then you just become a dumb adult. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that, bro. Like, I watched BMF too, so I'm not saying that I'm better than anybody else. I watched BMF. But, like, if you really want to keep it a bean, bro, about this show, about the government agents, he's a Zionist. Meech is damn near a Zionist. When you really want to break it, if you really want to get spiritual, he's a Zionist. He's no different than an ADL. He sold dope everywhere and killed millions. You think he wasn't selling dope to his own people? You think it was just only hit towns with crackers? Nah, he was selling to niggas too. Niggas, crackers. Everybody selling that, get that hit. You see how his personality was on the show. You think that's imaginary? You think it's a game? Nobody playing, man. They will give you, like I said on my TikTok, they will give you $100 million. Oh, I'm up. Oh, I'm in the club. I'm throwing $100 million. But you took 100 million souls. But you took 100 million souls. That's a light exchange. Very light. Very light exchange. Thank you. Thank you. Then we still profiting off of it and influencing another generation 10 years later. Getting off. Hollywood. I just want to have my own show. Something that black folks want to watch. 50 Cent, I swear he doing it for the people. He's selling spirits and he pushing Zionist agendas on TV. We out, man. On a tape, man, real soon, man. Self-titled Cashrulethematrix, man. It's gonna be some high frequency war tunes, war chants on there. It's reversing the spell, man. Knowledge plug, drill rap, drill spiritual drill. I'm changing it. I gotta dwell in them energies right now. YNs. I'm the woke YNs going against the YNs. So if y'all want a crystal too, you can tap in. Email in the description. Be there in about 5 business days. I'm out.